The Can-Am connection after dark.
That was the official intro.
Hey!
Oh, my bad.
But it's the morning.
Oh.
So we have to give you the PG version. Jay Clean is finally here on time. Oh my God. Ryan Heron, how you doing, brother? Well, we got a lot to talk about, guys. We got a lot to talk about.
Whew, yes, we. SB, do you work today?
I work every day.
Dude, tell me you're off today. Tell me this is not going to be a 45-minute show.
No, I got nothing at the end of this, so we're okay. We're good.
Okay.
Beautiful.
We're okay.
Billy Berg's in the house. What is up?
Richard in the house.
I have to pull up my thing on the other side on my phone so I can see the chat. See who's being.
I'll tell you something.
Dude, that is not a little higher so we can see the brass knuckle. Little higher.
There's nothing on there. Can't show you that.
No, that's a paperweight.
Dude, that's nice.
You can't call it that, Jody. It's a paperweight.
Yeah, well, if I were to win one at Knuckles Up and go through airport security, they may differ.
No, you just have to check it.
You check it.
Yeah, you just check
it. Oh, is that how it goes?
Ron tried to. So, okay, here's how it goes. The knuckles themselves are illegal in many states and in the country of Canada, as well as other countries. The workaround, apparently, is if they are attached as part of an award, then they're okay. But for me, it is a paperweight, and it will be permanently affixed to this plaque. So they thought that through, and they actually called ahead and checked it out.
Good.
What you cannot do, even if it is attached to a plaque, Mr. Ron Bath, is try to take it in your carry-on luggage. So
is that what he did?
He got sent back to check it. He didn't get in real trouble or anything, just inconvenienced.
Wow.
It's not like bringing a firearm through TSA checkpoint.
You know what was odd to me, though? I'm sitting in the airport in Newark, and how many times I heard it is illegal for you to take a firearm through airport security. And they had to keep repeating this message. I probably heard it 30 times while I was there. Like, am I the only one that would think that would be a given, that you can't take a gun?
You know, you think that, but people still do it all the time. They'll leave it in their damn carry-on, and then they're,
Don't take your firearms through airport security.
Or ammunition. Ammunition will get you in trouble as well.
Yeah.
Yes, Jake Lee, and you are right. People are extremely stupid.
All right. So, talk about, we're going to get to a match later on that caused a little bit of controversy. Before we get there, I want to say that I have it on good authority that the Knuckles Up crew is going live with Tom Holland later to talk about it. So look for that this evening.
Wow. Is there something we should know about?
We'll get there.
I'm so glad today is my Sunday. My word.
I'm working right now while we're on. So
all right, let's start at the bottom. What do we got first?
You and Vitor.
All right.
That match went pretty much as Jody and I thought it would go. Like, so did you guys agree to pull all 5 rounds because of the technical difficulties that were being had with the pay-per-view stream?
Honestly, we hadn't even thought about it until the referee said, do you want to pull the next 2? Like Judy offered that to us. And Vitor wanted to, and I had no issue with it. So we just did it. We decided it on the spot.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you felt as if you were in any danger at any sort.
No,
at
I didn't
any point losing any round. So
I stopped hitting pretty early. Because I couldn't time my hit, because Judy is very tricky with her ready goes.
She changes them up, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably good, smart on her end. That way you can't like constantly get the jump, I
was getting called on fast starts, and I didn't feel like they were fast, but I was getting called on them regardless, so I had to adjust.
Right.
It even seemed like he was trying to access that King's move, and just you had too much hand control.
He had a little sticky spot at the bottom, but Vitor's a strong guy. I mean, can't take anything away from the guy. He came, he gave it his all, and
I'm just saying, I think it went pretty much
And by the way, Tim did. I wish he was here because he did a really good job in my corner. Yeah,
He didn't say
He
press,
was-
did he?
he did not. He did not tell me to press. He did tell me to turn him in the last match.
Too soon, Jody. Too soon.
Oh,
I'm just posting on Facebook that we're live on the show, so sorry about that.
yeah.
Oh God. What was the second match?
Oh, the second match was well, I'm gonna go in the order we went in order. So it was
Okay.
Metarangi and BJ Fokakis.
BJ could have won that match. I think BJ outside the strap, BJ was in control. In the strap, Metas just went up and over the top of BJ's. It almost looked like BJ too was trying to shoot forward in the strap too for some reason and staying high and going backwards. But I mean, obviously, I wasn't there to see what was going on with him. But it just seemed like in the strap meta was too much.
Yeah, it was pretty competitive for a 3-0.
Yeah.
Like it was a
Like I
good
said,
match.
especially outside the strap. I mean, BJ made Meta foul a couple times when he was able to hang on to him, was in control, and then when the strap got put on, it was just totally different.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a good effort by BJ. Like I said, I think he potentially could have won that match. One or two slight adjustments, and I think he wins that match.
Who was in his corner? I couldn't remember.
In
Was it,
BJ's corner,
Yeah.
I don't know. So originally Tim and Meta were going to be in my corner, and then Meta's match was right after mine, so he kind of bowed out. And BJ asked me to corner him, and I said, "Man, like I can't go from having a guy corner me to me cornering against him, so that wouldn't be."
Yeah,
It's
that's
also
weird,
hard.
huh?
It's also hard, in my opinion, to corner somebody that you never like pulled with. You know what I mean? Like it's very difficult to be like, okay, when you don't know their strengths, you don't know their weaknesses, what they're capable of.
I
Like
have pulled BJ. It was years ago.
I
I'm
will
just
say
saying.
this.
I'm just saying though, in general.
I will say this. That happened to me before. There's a way around that. So I guess it'll be a couple years ago. I was pulling Jordan Seal in a super match, and Jamie Sheldon was my corner man. And Jamie said, "Look, man, I don't know how you pull, but I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what I see from my angle, and you tell me what you see on the table, and then we'll
Yeah.
kind of go from there."
Yeah, there are workarounds, but I said it's just difficult too at times. You know what I mean?
But I'm Canadian now, so what does it matter, right?
We'll get to the halftime show. Don't worry about that. We'll get there.
Okay, the next one was Merlene and Yoshiko.
Super one-sided.
I thought it. Yeah, it was. I thought it was going to be different. I thought it would have been a more competitive match.
Gage, come here.
And yes, you're correct, Jay Clean. Not all 3-0s are the same.
Yeah, that is correct. This one was not close.
I thought if Yoshiko had any it was going to be a competitive match, and it just
yeah,
no different.
I was gambling on the
galaxies.
You got the mailman at your house?
I have no clue, but I'm not going to get my
getting broken into.
Well, they're picking the wrong house or they're breaking into it with this psycho. No.
Joe Meek in the house. What's up, my friend? I picked Merlene because I thought she had something to prove. Because last month at Washington State, she had her match with Carolina, and it didn't go good. And her mind was all messed up. And then she did fairly well in the tournament. Took a couple losses to Le'Aaron. And I said, look, you know what? Shake this off. You have a match coming up. Whatever happened tonight, forget about it. Learn from it. And then come back with a better mindset. And I think she did this time around.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely going to have to step up the competition for her and Nadia.
So
or just put them against each other.
That would be a good
build up.
Although they were talking about Merlene having a rematch.
Yeah, that's a touchy subject.
That is.
Is it?
It is.
I know some behind the scenes stuff, so it's a little touchy.
Ooh.
After dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. It was Hellboy versus Cody Wood. That surprised me.
Especially with Hellboy going up 1-0 right off the bat.
Well, Cody tried to top roll with him and realized that lane was not available.
Yeah. Hey, Cody looked like like a veteran of many more years than he's actually had.
Yeah, I think Matthias couldn't. To me, it didn't look like Matthias made an adjustment at all after Cody started committing to the hook. You know what I mean?
I think he just was so fast he could initiate what he wanted
Yeah.
to, and the guy was in a defensive position the whole time after that.
Yep.
Good morning, Neil's Index Figure. Welcome to the show.
I mean, it's a good win for Cody. I mean, Matthias is, a name, that's been around a long time. So
Cody did a good job, and he's never been on an airplane before this.
Yeah. Oh, he has that Luke Kent thing going on.
What's the Luke Kent thing? He just doesn't like him?
Oh, there's a reason why they're in the 4 episodes of Game of Arms his team was on. When they were traveling, he never appeared.
Oh, he just won't?
He doesn't like planes.
No, I just don't think Cody's ever done it. He's just a young guy and hasn't traveled.
Let's see here. The next match was Nadia and Nick Stone and Toshi.
That kind of went how I said I think it was going to go.
Yeah.
Nick
had an interesting call out.
I saw that on the left.
What do you think about that?
Neil's Index Finger just became a member.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's a good call out, Ryan. Is that something you're?
Hey, I'm down. I already told the guys I would do it. We just need to work out the dates. So.
Now, who does he go against right-handed? Now is the question.
Meadow Orangi would be a good one. They both won.
There's already one match already set. Oh, I might have said that too early. After dark.
But I mean, he did a good job keeping him out of his press because we know he has that press lane as well, and he just never had access to it. So
yeah. James Clark in the house. Yeah, you know what? Toshi is one of those guys. Like, man, the physical appearance of him, you don't see strength, but he is surprising. I think he's a guy that'll be around that promotion for a while. They're showing really good success bringing over these guys from Japan and Korea, and like it's different. It's guys we don't get to see very often.
It's kind of good. I mean, I know some people on this side of the continent probably won't recognize them on a regular basis, name wise, but it's always kind of good to get that exposure because I look at it like this. If it gives another North American an opportunity to pull an international puller, if I'm looking at it from the grand scheme of things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that. Okay, next match. Now we get to Nadia. And is it Tatiana?
Is this before halftime or after halftime?
After. No. This is before.
Yeah. Okay, we're still not quite at halftime yet.
No, this was
the first match after halftime was the controversial one.
So So we have 2 more matches in the halftime show. So yeah, Nadia just looked awesome. It's like a runaway train. I'm not sure. I picked Nadia. Nate picked Tatiana, so I'm gonna score my points.
My thing was like based on what Tati used to do. You know what I mean? She was
at WAO.
Yeah, she was great. So she was a stud.
I expected a more competitive match.
Agreed.
But Nadia just came to dominate.
Can I make a point? And this is what Nathan was saying. And Ryan, you've been there. You're basically that's your home now.
Yeah.
I see when Nate said, "Hey guys, they need to up their game as far as the matches like Nadia." I'm thinking, I'm guessing, I could be wrong. They're trying to kind of settle in, see where you're at. Then we'll start going, okay, now it's you versus you. I think they're trying to see what was going on because they weren't sure what Danielle Everson was going to do. So let's just see where her now and see what happens. And now, Marlene took a loss to, Liz, and now she came back and won. So it only makes sense as we kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, on paper, this was a great match.
Yeah.
But we've seen now where their levels are. So, maybe it does make sense to put Nadia against Marlene.
You should. Here's the thing, and I've told people this, like 2025. I mean, the sport's getting bigger and bigger, and it's all about opportunities. If it's there, take it. I'm not going to talk about my opportunity that kind of went by the wayside, but I'm just saying
we will talk about that right after we get through this review, Jody.
We can do that.
David Jansen, trust me, that's something. I actually messaged that to Ryan while he was there about the inopportune switching between a very good camera angle to that extremely poor wide shot angle where you couldn't see anything during the match happening.
Yeah, like camera angle switches for the sake of camera angle switches.
Yeah.
Now, when we say things critical, you can bet that the Knuckles Up guys are listening and they will take it under advisement and do something about it, because that's what they've done. Like, remember when we criticized that rule about the warnings in the referee's grip, and then they changed it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it happened a lot during this show. While we're on it, they're literally ready to close the second hand during. They're in the process of closing the second person's hand during the rest grip, and it shoots to that back far away camera. I'm like, what? Huh? What are you doing? Like, no.
Yeah, it goes to
back up.
Right.
So
and I'm sure I don't know if the guys see that like when we see it as an audience, the camera. I think because they're live, they're kind of seeing that. I don't know if they can see what we see.
They do, because Laws and Will were sitting in front of a monitor in front of the stage, so they could see what you were seeing, and they were
one other thing I would recommend them do is have somebody like their commentator sitting there with I don't know, whatever program they're using, to where they're signaling the fouls and stuff, because at too many times during matches there was confusion on who had pins, who had fouls, who had, what score was and stuff like that. That happened multiple matches. And then they're having to correct it during their commentating, going, "Oh, well, don't worry about the score. It's this and this." I'm like, well,
one thing I've never seen a promotion do correctly, ever. Any promotion, King of the Table East versus West, Knuckles Up, any promotion, none of them get this right. Those little lights that indicate
fouls
are never correct. The only time they're correct is when the match starts and no one has any.
This is where,
like I said, it's just a minor change. Like you literally have the person on the commentating desk having, you can set it up to where they have a button and they go, "Oh, win here." It's almost like being a scorekeeper in basketball, right? You're in charge of maintaining the timeouts and the score. Up, point here, foul.
Yeah. To her credit, Judy, there were matches that were getting really deep, and there was lots of fouls and warnings, and she always recapped before the next start who had what, and she did not get it wrong.
That's why she is who she is.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the communication line between the referee and the commentators isn't as clear as
an earpiece would do wonders.
Well, I mean, usually when you have you got two guys or girls tag team in a pay-per-view or even a live stream, you have the one person who's like the play-by-play, and then you got the other person who's the color commentary. Happens in sports, right? Usually the one who's doing the commentary will kind of throw in a little oddball, comments or oddball stats or whatever. The play-by-play is pretty much on top of that, So I don't know. That's just what I've taken, when I've done that multiple times, at Tim's events, I kind of just, oh, by the way, sponsored by so-and-so. I just kind of throw in the stuff while my partner in crime sitting next to me would drop in, "Oh, we got a foul here. We got a foul here. Let's see what happens." That kind of stuff, But like I said, everyone's different,
It's one of those just being like extra critical things, if we're being that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So now we get to the halftime show.
No, we have one more match, I thought, for halftime.
Is there one more match?
It was Hu Ming Ji and Paul Passmore.
Oh, yeah.
We got that one wrong, and I was like, and I was talking to Paul after the match, but let's talk about this first. The first two matches, I'm thinking, oh yeah, just as I thought. Paul's going to take him inside, and then all of a sudden, something he gassed out.
I was going to ask you guys, did it seem like Paul was protecting still after? I mean, because he broke his arm with Robbie in a bad spot. Uh, did it seem to me like as he would start getting side pressured over in that spot and getting close to being potentially in another dangerous spot, he would just kind of protect a little bit?
I saw it as he didn't make an adjustment. He kept doing the same thing over and over. And, I've always told people, and I could be wrong, but I want you two to, judge my comment. Everybody in the chat, judge my comment. In the Supermatch format, once you lose a match, then it's your responsibility to make an adjustment. And I do the same thing over and over. It just looked like, from my eyes, Paul kept doing the same thing. But I come to find out later on that he said his hand blew up. He couldn't close it, open it. It was just doing the same thing. And that's probably why it looked like he's protecting it. That's coming from him, though.
I can tell you in real time. Like, I didn't think Paul was protecting himself. I thought he was in danger at times, actually. But you could see, like, is G one of the best arm wrestlers on the planet? Like, he might be. Because what I saw from him is this calm look of confidence, even in losing 2 matches. And it's like he could feel something there.
It's like it didn't faze him at all.
It didn't faze him at all. And he's just cold as ice. And you got this one guy who is bone dry and standing there calm. And you have Paul, who is using a very inefficient style, getting wins. And had he had 10% more gas in the tank, that could have been a 3-0. But he is sweating profusely and working really, really hard to get those pins.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we see the turn. And then it becomes 3-2. So for me, and Paul took that loss hard, I would
so hard.
What's worse, a 3-0 loss or a 3-2 loss when you were up 2-0? Because that has to be one of the most disheartening things in the world when you're this close. And you just
think I'd rather lose. Well, losing 3-2, how you lose is different too.
Yeah.
Because if it's back and forth, and it's 2-2 going to the final match, that's one thing. Probably the best 3-2 matches you can have. But when you're up 2-0, and all of a sudden you just see the wheels starting to unravel, it's like, what the hell just happened?
Well, that happened twice this show.
And you can't say Paul was not in shape, because that man is in shape. Like, to the point where Will was crushing hard.
Will was slobbering over that. He sent that picture, he's all just chills. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt bad for Paul, but I talked to him. He said he was so pissed off. He went to headbutt a door or something like that and chipped his tooth.
Oh man. Yeah, he didn't take it well. He would not be the guy you want to go try to get an autograph from right after that match.
But I told him, dude, we're all proud of you. It's all good, man. Just shake it off, So, is that Brad Grundy in the house?
Brad Grundy.
Brad's pulled Ji-Hoon. Didn't Brad pull Ji-Hoon Min?
I don't know.
I think he did. Didn't you, Brad?
Warren's in the house. What's up?
I mean, great match, though. I mean,
so
what a turn.
Here's the thing, and I'm thinking usually when you're up 2-0 and all of a sudden the tables start turning, this is the time where I'm gonna fly on the wall thinking, okay, what's going on in Paul's corner? You know what I mean? Like, what are they saying? Merlin was in his corner at one point. Then I saw Daniel Worley in his corner at one point. I'm thinking, okay, what advice is he getting? Because now, first of all, you got to have someone say, hey, it's okay, shake it off. But the one thing you don't want to do is hit the panic button, and now you got all kind of information coming all which way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because then you can be like, okay, now what do I do? I'm stressed out, so.
Now we're at the halftime show. I'm just going to be honest. I didn't understand or hear a one thing they said during the halftime show.
Who's they? Like the host?
No, like the 3 people they brought on for the halftime show. You couldn't hear a darn thing.
Really? You couldn't hear me?
Couldn't hear you. Couldn't hear Pablo. Nope.
Wow.
I didn't hear what Pavlo said because I was running backstage to do something. I don't remember what the hell it was, but anyway, we
like I turned my I was going off my iPad into my TV, and like I couldn't hear anything. I could hear the commentators fine during the matches, but for the halftime thing where they brought people on, couldn't hear a thing.
sure was nice to have some Canadian content in that halftime show, though.
Yeah.
Jody Williams tuning in from Calgary, Alberta, with his cowboy hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. I didn't,
the look on your face, man, was like
he said
you were on a giant screen with the crowd watching that.
Well, what got even better was they weren't even talking to Jody at all. They were talking to Pablo, and they had Jody up there just staring at us for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's funny because, and Will said it like, oh yeah, all the way from the Great White North. I kind of went north, and yeah, from Canada. I'm like going,
huh?
I'm like, dude, I'm from Oregon. Like, okay, and I didn't want to like cut him off because you got to remember we're live on the show, and I kind of like, you're in school, teacher, I have a question, that kind of thing. And Jordan wants to say something. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Oregon. I'm a U.S. guy, so. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just used to you guys being together on the Cam Connection. I'm thinking, okay, so. But yeah, James Clark, Oregon's close enough. See, there you go.
There's still another state above Oregon. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not even a border state.
Right.
Close enough.
Yeah. So that was the halftime show. At this point, Nathan, you're 3-4. I'm 4-3.
So let's before we go on, you want to talk about the hacking of the show?
Just touch base. Let's go.
Because we're delayed like 2 hours, and this is like over an hour anyway, and that is the reason why there was no secret match. By the way, we ran out of time, and a couple things contributed to that. So, what did you call it, Nathan? What is that process?
It's kind of like a DDoS.
Yeah,
or you overflow stuff is what it seems like to me.
That's what it was. There was thousands of hits on that site that were like basically fake buying the pay-per-view and then getting the failed payment over and over and over again until it kind of crashed the site. So that's what happened. Now, who's responsible? Who knows?
Right.
There will be data that comes out on it later. We don't have it yet. And that'll just be IP addresses and where they're from. So we'll see. Stay tuned. And then when it went on and we had, when Vitor and I actually pulled the 5 matches, there was a message that came in our group chat that said, no more extra matches. When the match is over, it's over. And then that message didn't get to the referees because it kept on happening in some other matches.
Yeah, during your match too, I don't know if Jody, did you notice this too, that there was like a black rectangle across where the athletes were pulling, and they had you guys setting up and everything with that black, and you were blacked out.
It was like a big long rectangle block. I'm like going, are they for real? And everybody in chat was like kind of starting to go nuts, like, what the hell is this? And I get it, like, what the hell? But finally it went away just as the ref said it go.
Okay, well, here we are, halftime.
All right, now this is where it gets interesting in the show. The first match that kicked off the second half was Ryan Bowen and Tom Holland, and I'm going to have you guys take it away because I'm scratching my head. Who wants to take off with this one?
Well, before we get to the match, I will talk about it because there is some controversy.
Oh, yeah.
Controversy is the weight cut.
Jody, we're just going to cut this match as a scratch.
Okay.
Yeah, you fair with that one? Yeah, because like if some stuff is accurate, then you know what I mean? Yeah.
So
we're
calling this one a wash for Jody and I on the bet.
Even though I picked Bowen, but go ahead. Yeah, we'll call. We'll just want to count that one.
All right.
Yeah. So the weight cap is 186. Oh no, 86 kilos is the weight cap.
Yeah, 187, 188, something like that.
Yes. So let's see here. Well, let's look at Tom Holland. Tom Holland wasn't at the weight cap. Didn't need to cut weight. Show up, walk out. 10 minutes before that match, he's in the weight class. Bowen has a significant amount of weight to cut, and we see the chronicles of this happening up to the event. At some point, Ryan Bowen sends a video to Tom Holland showing him stepping on a scale, and it's saying 86 kilos or whatever it was. I'm standing right there in the room when Ryan, like Thursday night, Ryan starts eating. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Like, shouldn't there be an official weigh-in time like normal?
Yeah,
and then I'm standing there when Will shows up. And by the way, this is what they're talking about tonight on the High Fives channel with Tom Holland.
Ooh, yes.
They bring out a scale, and Ryan's like, no, I already weighed in. And his video of him stepping on a scale and saying it to Tom apparently was his official weigh-in in his mind. And the High Five guys seemed oblivious to this and kind of asked Tom if he was okay with it. Didn't seem like he was, but I mean, you have two choices. You either cancel the match or you let it go on. Now, there's no organization in the world other than WAF that would allow you to weigh in 4 days ahead of time and put the weight back on. Nobody witnessed Ryan make this weight except a video. We all know things can happen. What I can tell you is that when they put that scale in front of him, I believe Ryan was 99.5 kilos.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
The day before they actually pulled. So in 24 hours, I'm just doing the math here.
It's 13 kilos. Just call it 14 kilos. I mean, 20 kilos, 45 pounds, 14, 2.2, 28. It's almost 30 pounds.
So 30 pounds. When this is your first time doing this level of a cut, can you get from your weigh-in to 30 pounds heavier in 24 hours?
That motherfucker went to the Korean barbecue the whole time.
So I'll give you an example.
Physically do it. Professional guys that do weight cuts every time they fight do not put on that much weight.
Here,
I mean,
go ahead, Nathan. I'm gonna give you my point. I want you to go
say, so like I cut weight for classes. Like I cut weight a lot for classes, and like I've cut day of events, like before the day of weigh-ins, cut like 18 pounds. And then I get to rehydrate and recarb up. No problem. I can do an 18, 20 pound cut in a day. I've done it. I know how to do it. But I don't rehydrate 30 pounds back on. Like I might get lucky to get back to my original weight. That's if I have a full 24 hours. If I don't have a full 24 hours, I'm not putting 20 pounds back on. Right? I've done this for a lot. Like so I've done weight cutting for years. Like, so I know how to do it. But there's no feasible way in my mind that he went from 86 kilos to 99 kilos.
So here we have this 30-pound weight gain in a 24-hour period. And no sickness, no nothing. Because if you are really starved to that point where you make that weight and you just force feed yourself after that, you're going to get sick. Like, it's not the right way to do it. But here we are. Now, there's another third piece to this that I will not talk about because it is third-hand information. But
I'm going to go ahead and go on my soapbox in a minute.
You need to tune into the High Five tonight to find this piece out. This changes everything even more.
Well, my thing too is, Joe, guys, like if you're doing a 20, you have to, if you're going to do a 24-hour weight, a 24-hour day before weigh-in, like it needs to be 24 hours. Like if you're pulling at 8 p.m., you need to be weighing in at 8 p.m. Like you can't be weighing in at 6 a.m. You know what I mean? And now have 38 to 40 hours to rehydrate and refeed. That's just, I mean, it's not. That's still a big deal.
Marco, I agree with you. But when you are nearly 300 pounds, that is a more reasonable thing to expect.
Yeah, but when you're cutting 80, I mean, look at somebody, you can look at somebody like Samusha or look at Sasha or anybody at that category. Yeah, they're cutting weight. Look at Paul Lynn. Okay, we use Paul Lynn as an example. Paul Lynn cuts down to 95, but I'll bet you that Paul Lynn isn't putting almost 20 kilos back on in 24 hours.
Yes.
I'm about to fucking go off on this with my soapbox. Y'all ready for this?
So this is the controversy. Jody, take it away.
Let me put my lip balm on.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's chapping up for this. Watch out.
Yeah, this is some fucking bullshit. Listen, man. And before I go on my tirade, somebody give me a soap emoji up there. Before I go on my tirade, I have a match coming up March 21st with James Beach. We agreed to have.
GB, I know it's not.
What's that?
20 kilos. GB said 30 pounds is not 20 kilos. I know 30 pounds is like 13 kilos, but I'm just using a round number.
Right. We agreed to pull 105 kg, which is what, 231. So right now I'm currently at 239. Out of respect for my opponent, my duty is to make sure I meet that weight that we agreed upon. So if I'm Ryan Bowen, if me and Tom Holland meet, hey, we need to pull this, it's up to the promoter to go, look, way in front of me. There's a reason why we have these promotions and stuff, and all the people on the Supermatch card. You weigh in before a press conference or whatever the case may be, so everybody's right on. You're an athlete. It's your responsibility. Now, if you got to cut so much weight and gain it back up, then goddamn it, you're not in that weight class. Trim your fat ass down, or fucking just say, look, I'm a man up and go up a weight class. But the problem is, I don't think Knuckles Up have weight classes. That's probably what the problem is. And they probably should if this is going to happen, because that ain't fair to Tom.
They had agreed on a weight.
That's my whole point. Yeah. Either have weight classes or say, look, if you're not going to make it, I'm going to put Tom with somebody else. Oh, I can make it as an athlete. In this particular situation, Bowen needs to weigh in front of the fucking promoters.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, you know, if you look at the UFC has scales that their athletes can weigh themselves on during their weight cutting process, but they have an official scale that everybody must weigh in on. And if you don't weigh in on that scale at your weight, guess what? You're losing it's 20% of your fight purse if you miss weight. If you're pulling Supermatch, make it that way.
So I called Ryan Mr. Controversy when he sat down with us at breakfast the next day, and he did not know what I was talking about. He had to know that this would create some issues. So they need to, you're right, they need to set a specific time. So the Knuckles Up always looks for constructive feedback. This is one of those things. If the guys agree on a weight, they have to have a set time and date that they're going to make that weight before they pull. And both pullers need to agree ahead of time and have it enforced with consequences for not doing that. And let's face it, Ryan looked
huge,
bigger and thicker than he has ever looked. Mm-hmm. Like, he looked incredible from an athletic perspective. To say that he's as light as he's been in years,
get the fuck out of here.
I don't know.
And like I was saying too, like if Ryan weighed in Thursday, right, and you're not pulling till Saturday, you got, that's a 48-hour refeed, rehydrate. That's a big time frame for a super match.
Don't forget that third piece of information that you must tune in tonight to hear.
Yeah.
And I still think that's unfair to Tom. It's like, okay, I walk around this weight, give or take a few pounds, whereas this guy has to cut, and then I got so, and we've all know in the past, guys used to do it back in the day for WAF Worlds.
They used to do it for Wall too.
Now, I can rehydrate, fucking, you know.
Look at Wall. I mean, you had guys walking around at 210 pounds cutting to 170.
WAF is different because you can weigh in on a Monday and pull on Friday, right? So it's
still it's what it is, you know.
But it's fair.
Yeah. Yes, it's fair to everybody. Everybody has to make weight.
Tom Holland could drop a whole weight class too.
Yeah. Like I said, I just don't like video weigh-ins are completely inaccurate.
Well, it's especially when it's not done under an agreement or
under the scrutiny of the event organizer, like
on an unofficial scale.
Well, and like I said, this is where going forward, you know, because Knuckles Up, I hope you guys are watching, by the way, Chris and William. So one may think, okay, the next event, are we going to have like actual weigh-ins, or is it going to be a weight class? Because if this is going to happen, that ain't fair to Tom to fly all the way over from the UK over here and find out, like, wait, what? And at this point, you done flew so far. It's like I might as well have the match. But damn,
to me, you can, Jody. You can. I don't. What's your opinion on it? But to me, it loses credibility. Like if you have stuff like that happening, like there's some credibility loss.
It's a learning curve though, because that could very well happen in East versus West or King of the Table as well. But what do you do about it? That's the question. Because you have an organization like the UFC. If you miss weight, they will either cancel your fight or you can fight at a catch weight
and lose 20% of your purse.
Lose 20% of your purse. In UFC though, that's a significant piece of money. In arm wrestling, that might not be much. That could be a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000. It's not going to change your life.
No.
It should be maybe an autumn if there's a win bonus, which many matches probably had.
Lose your win bonus.
The win bonus should automatically go to the competitor that made the weight. And now they're just arm wrestling to arm wrestle.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if there was a purse for the winner at these events at Knuckles Up. I'm not sure. I don't know. But there has to be some kind of penalty, don't you think?
So there should be.
Well, I mean, Tom's other option would be to not have the match. And
I'd still have it because I'm not going to fly across country or not even fly across the ocean just to not have a match. That would piss me off or put me with somebody else. And Ryan does fuck it.
Ryan, we all agree with you that everybody should weigh on the same scale. Even if you're pulling open weight, like if they want to know your weight, everybody weighs on that scale. And like you can't tell me if I can't find a big enough scale that's accurate. You can order one online that'll go up to like 300 kilos. So you know what I mean? You calibrate it with and make sure everything's right, then you just go with it. Like there's no debate on how it should be. I think we all agree that weigh-in should be done in an open area for everyone to see, especially your competitor.
Well, I don't care about let's face it. I mean, you take big fight sports, those weigh-ins you see aren't the real weigh-ins. They're the ceremonial weigh-ins, right? But you have to be under the scrutiny of the governing body when you weigh in.
Yeah, like
so with their official scale, with people watching to make sure you're not leaning on a handrail, that kind of stuff. Like it's
the towel incident that took a pound off somebody.
The DC towel where the two guys were holding it up like a tug of war. Yeah,
but you know what I mean though. Like these things are very easily prevented, extremely easy to prevent, especially in the sport. You make the weigh-in public, i.e., you, the promoter, and your competitor.
I can tell you, absolute certainty. Will and Chris assumed they were making weight the Thursday night, or pardon me, the Friday night, because they showed up with the scale, and the look on Ryan's face when they showed up with the scale was one of bewilderment. And of course, Will and Chris were equally surprised because they expected to do a weigh-in right there.
Well, yeah.
And I was standing there when it happened.
Wow, we still got 6 more matches to talk about.
Moving on.
Anyway, you guys tune in tonight to watch the High Five. If they go live, rumor has it it's going to be with Tom Holland, and they're going to talk about the subject, and it should be some very interesting stuff.
Another could be controversial match: Jason Merlot and Bogdan Stoica.
I don't see any controversy. I saw Bogdan I saw Merlot winning the first 2 rounds, and then his gas tank just went to E, and Stoica took over.
Give Merlot some credit, you guys. Everyone thought
I wasn't giving him no credit. I'm just saying, like he did everything right in the first 2 rounds. I thought Stoica was going to walk.
I'm thinking about a week ago.
I'm thinking Stoica's going to walk through him. It was my prediction.
And Jason came up to me and he says, "Man, your co-hosts don't give me any chance to win this thing." So he may be watching right now.
No, I mean the first 2 rounds, like he did everything perfect. He didn't allow Bogdan to access his press. I honestly thought Bogdan was going to switch it up and go different and hit outside a couple times. I mean, he did to get the strap, but I mean, it just you can only take so many of those hits out on your hammer like that on your brachialis before something starts to give. and you start to reach your elastic limit. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, look at that, representing Lucky.
And then big credit to Bogdan too, like not wanting to win that last match on fouls and looking at him and go, let's do it for real and let's actually have a winner of this match. So, it was definitely, to me, outside of the controversial match, it was the match of the night.
He looked, and yeah, kudos to Bogdan. Says, hey, I want to win. If I want to win, I want to pin for the win, right? Oh, I should get a t-shirt, pin for the win. But you can tell, and I'm not, cracking on Merlot. And Merlot, if you're watching, don't take this as me cracking on you, but like, you look gassed toward the end. It was almost the same thing as Paul Passport. You went up 2-0, and all of a sudden something happened, and the wheels turned. All of a sudden the momentum kind of went down, and I can tell Bogdan for some reason started getting more steam. So by that measure, and Bogdan's like, "Nah, I want to win, run it." And Jason's like, "Yeah, I'm down," but I'm like, "Dude, your steam is gone, bro." And y'all saw what I saw, so that's how I look at it.
Yeah, when he got called out for that third or the fourth match, looked like he was not looking forward to the fourth match. He gave it a good go, but
yeah, I mean, as soon as Bogdan got that first stop in round 3, I mean, you could just see Jason's gas tank just starting to really go down.
I will say a kudos to Knuckles Up, because I thought the video protests happened way quicker than they had in the past.
Jay Clean, it's just a stylistic thing, right? Like, you're looking at somebody that's a pure hooker in Tom Holland against somebody that's a very, very good top roller in Jason Merlot. I mean, that top roll, everybody knows the kryptonite of the top roll can be a flop press. So, and that's what Bogdan did. I mean, you can only hang out on that brack so long before it just.
Yeah.
And that's my point. Like, you got to make adjustments. And again, who's in this corner? I'm not blaming the corner people. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I mean, he had very good corner people. He had Merlot.
Right.
I mean, he had Barbosa.
Yeah,
but again, after a while, you can't come in and start doing the same move. It's like Nathan and I are saying the same thing. You can only do so much with that brachials, but at the same point, you got to switch it up. Like, you have to switch it up. Bowen versus Jody, left arm, book it. Yes, I would love that. Please, somebody do that. Where's Chris at? I'm calling Chris right now. Chris, William, yeah.
No weight limit.
No weight limit? Oh, man.
Well, then I'm going Korean barbecue. Fuck that.
Sushi.
We did go to the Korean barbecue.
Of course. You probably saw Ryan probably beat y'all there, didn't he?
He was eating there the day before.
Okay, next match. We had Don Underwood and the young sensation.
Rickards Borman. Holy.
Whoa.
Okay, question for you two. Did you see the Instagram clip that Rickards posted of him after pulling somebody and literally dragging that dude and the whole table over and flipping it over?
Yeah, they all fell down on the ground.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
I never got to feel Rickard at all. I wanted to grip up with him a little bit. Man, he looked good. But it's an unknown because I don't know where Don's strength level is right now. I know where Don says his strength level is, but I don't know where it actually is.
Yeah. But Rickards looked, I mean, just that first round.
Jay, he lived up to the hype. As far as that match goes, oh my God.
I mean, Don hit a wall round 1 and 2. Like, I don't even think that match moved. Did that match ever move off center? Like, in all honesty.
This could be the next big thing. Like, this guy he's
21.
He's 6'4". He's 21 years old. He's 280 or something.
I think he was like. I think he's in the wrong weight class personally for me.
Ooh,
he's such a big. Like, he's got a big frame on him. Like, he's gonna.
Dude, 115. Could you imagine him at 115?
I don't think he can stay there very long. He's gonna have to.
He's a growing boy, so
he's not even done growing yet. That kid.
Yeah,
hey,
I'm
look
just
at the
saying,
chat, you guys. Some people are saying Reichert versus Sanders.
Nah, it's too soon.
Yeah, I think it's way too soon. I'm not saying it's not a potential match in the future, but like
it's too
they
soon.
would make that would be a weight class match at like 115.
Yeah, I think they should bring him along relatively slowly.
And where's he from again? South Africa?
Yeah.
Is he training with Terrence Opperman?
He lives in Australia.
Yeah,
Oh,
but he's from
okay.
but he's from South Africa originally. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Former
Okay.
rugby player, retired from a knee injury, and found arm wrestling.
So is he trained with Mario Tumbuscus and Bowen, those guys?
Well, some of
He
them.
goes out. He goes out and trains with Lachlan Adair and
Matt Conley.
Yeah.
But that kid, big. I mean, he's got a big star over his head and a super bright future.
So again, I'm glad, and this is why people should really pay attention because with Knuckles Up, some people like him, others don't, whatever. But they give people a platform. So now it's like, okay, here's the youngster, boy wonder coming here and knocking heads and stuff. And so now it's like, they're going to ask him to come back. It's just who are you going to put him against? So
Ryan, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't think Wallace would go inside with him. I think Wallace would end up in a Kings personally.
I see. Yeah.
We got 3 more matches left. We got the man himself, Ron Bath, Mario Tembuckus. What's you guys' take?
Didn't expect it to be dominant, but it was.
I mean, wasn't Mario chirping saying he was that Ron didn't want to hit none of him inside?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, well, that backfired, didn't it?
Yeah. That it did.
Man, I was not. Gage, come here. I was not betting against Ron in this one. Just Ron's too good. He's too strong.
I'm basically going off of Mario's last match and
with Merlot.
No,
with God, Jesus. I know his name.
So do
Too
I.
many names.
Bulgaria. He's from Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why am I?
Jay Clean, help us.
Plama Dimitrov.
Yeah, Plowman. So.
Yeah, but Ron's so big. Ron's so much bigger than Plowman. Totally different style.
I thought this would be a good match, and
I mean, even when Mario tried to go inside for that press, like that was just the wrong move because Ron is just too good there.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Now we got the last 2 matches, the co-main event. The first one with the ladies, Heidi Cordner, Gabby Vasconcelos.
I was a bit shocked by this. I'm not going to lie, Jody. You and I have had this talk.
What were you shocked about?
I'm shocked that even on Gabby's hit, right, that Heidi was able to roll out, keep her pronation, and then bring the match back. Bring the match back to center.
That was the whole plan. She just couldn't keep enough of her hand.
I think she was giving her hand away personally, like a lot. I mean, she was balling up, and it was, I think if she'd have tried to stay higher and come over the top of Gabby's hand while she went to do the slip at the bottom, it would have been better. But I don't know if she was capable of doing that.
Yeah. But
because
I mean,
she gave Gabby that whole thumb to ball up on, and
I don't think it was the slaughtering that people thought it was going to be. I think Heidi actually came in with a solid game plan and gave it a go.
So let me ask you a question. And as Pradeep goes, yes, Ron Bass, he's just killing all Australians. I will say this though. Does Heidi's stock rise? Because I do believe your stock can rise in a loss.
I believe that.
Yeah, and then if you look at her if you look at her last 2 matches, who has she lost to? She lost to Jocelyn. She lost to Jocelyn 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that match after round 1 was extremely one-sided in the strap. And then she just lost to Gabby. So it's not like she's losing to nobodies.
Right.
By any means. So
yeah. Yeah, and she's only been with her current club for a little while. I think Heidi's got lots of options out there.
Oh, no doubt.
Ryan, I see what you're saying about you want to see Gabby and Joss, but for me, I think you have to bring Joss up the right way. I think throwing her right to Gabby initially is not a good move for her, in my opinion. Putting her against somebody, else top 5 in the world, because you got to look, it's Barbara 1, Gabby 2. I mean, they're right here.
I keep saying Egla. We talked about this.
Yeah, you got to give her somebody, that has pulled Gabby, has pulled Barbora, and see where she stocks up with them instead of just throwing her right to the top two in the world. That's my opinion.
Or do you have an actual super match with Sarah Bachman, not just a round robin where so many factors can play into that? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we can't really say there were factors brought into that match between Joss and Sarah, right? Because they both had zero stress on their arms when they met each other. They went through their first three opponents ridiculously easy. And then they met up, and it wasn't like, Sarah had a super hard match prior to pulling Joss or Joss pulling Sarah.
No, but with the magnitude of that match, you want everybody fresh as a daisy, not pulling nobody. So
I'm gonna tell you guys something you may or may not agree with. I think Jocelyn beats Gabby right now.
I think there's a lane. I 100% think there's a lane. And I know that because
the last two matches Gabby has been in showed the lane.
Yes.
Put a big old spotlight on it.
And I build all Joss's programming and stuff like that. And we've discussed the match post that, and I'm like, there is a lane. I'm like, you just have to do it the right way. I'm like, because if you let her access where she's strongest, like it's bad. I mean, Barbara even showed if Gabby gets any type of purchase, it's a bad match for anybody.
Yeah,
you just have to access it the right way.
Yeah, but like I said, so now what does Gabby do? Because you lost again, same exact identical match to Barbara again. And then all of a sudden, you pull in, Heidi, you got the win, you got the W, but now it's like the way you won, we expect domination. It wasn't dominant. So does that mean everyone's catching up to you? Or does that mean you're losing some steam? We don't know.
I mean, this is the first time they've gripped up, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, Gabby pulled Sarah Wilson. She beat Sarah Wilson. Y'all were there for that one.
Yep.
I think that's how she hurt her right shoulder.
That is. And then she's pulled two out of the top three in North America. By that I mean Sarah Bachman and Heidi. And she has a winning record on both. Joss has a winning record on both. I mean, I definitely think their paths are coming to a head.
Yeah.
They're going to be meeting up. So it's just where and when at this point will they have a match. But I still like the idea of Joss getting another match prior to that.
So let me ask you this, Nathan, and tell me if I'm out of line for saying this. So it seems like, because I've been saying, hey, Jocelyn, Egla, maybe down the road sometime, maybe later this year. But
phenomenal
at the
match.
Same time,
I think it's a great match.
But at the same time, does something need to happen in North America first for that to happen? Like, do we need a Jocelyn versus Sarah best of 5 first before she ventures international?
I don't know. Like, I know she's going to Bulgaria this year to pull Worlds.
Right.
So, I mean, her path is going to cross with, the people at WoW. So.
Well, that's good. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I want to know why Lucky's saying this. Why does Sarah Wilson need to pull Jocelyn first? I'm very confused.
Well,
Sarah Wilson's never beat Heidi Cordner. Sarah Wilson's never beat Sarah Bachman. Jocelyn's beat both of them. So Sarah Wilson needs, in my opinion, to climb the ladder to get to Jocelyn. Jocelyn shouldn't pull backwards.
Isn't she the last person to beat her though?
Left hand. Well, Joss has got pins on her too. So I mean, it's not like they don't go back and forth.
I think Sarah's in the mix.
Well, she hasn't pulled right handed in how long?
Ooh,
it depends on what hand we're talking about. If it's right hand, like I said, her shoulder is not 100%, so she's pretty much kind of leaning to her left. So I mean, from that standpoint, but right now we're talking about right hand matches. So this is where Sarah probably doesn't get in that conversation. But left hand, she could probably make noise. Problem is, how often is Heidi or, Gabby or Sarah Bachman or Jocelyn pulling left?
I think it's an interesting problem, and it's a good one to have for us as fans, because I think Sarah's got something probably coming up on the horizon right away. And then you're going to see her, she probably will have to end up pulling a few people before she pulls Jocelyn.
After dark.
After dark. Okay. Jody's got secrets, man. I should have been making a list. I'm losing track of all these.
And yeah, well, you know what? If y'all want to know after dark stuff, y'all should be, giving out super chats. When was the last time we had
you're you're selling your secrets.
At the right price. Nah, I sound like Bajan. Never mind. So the last match. All right, Fareed and Sonov. What do y'all think?
Wow.
Iowa was great, man. Like,
wow.
Jordan showed up. Not. It was nice to hang out with him, by the way. Both of those guys. But the in-house crowd, I don't know if they fully appreciated how big that match was, because they did not cheer quite as loudly as some of the, the other household names. But Fareed was huge. Like he was immense.
And Jordan was in control the whole time. Was never in any danger.
He didn't think he was gonna win that match. He honestly did not.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember Fareed as just an absolute killer. Look at the people he's beaten in the past.
Yeah. And I go downstairs in the hotel like the night before 2 nights before the event, and I see Jordan in the gym. I'm like, what are you doing?
Staying warm.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, where do we go with it? Like, what was your guys' take on the match? I loved it.
Yeah, wow. How in control Jordan was from the opening go. And the thing is, Ferret tried everything.
And remember, this was a match that Nathan and I were kind of going, I don't know who to pick. Remember last week we talked about this? Yeah. So, it's like, wow, where do you go? It's always funny how on paper it looks like one thing, but then when it actually happens, it looks like another.
Yeah, because, we all remember the days of Ferret, going through Travis Bajan and having wars with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Having wars with beating Brzezinski, having wars with Brzezinski. Like, he's phenomenal. Like, he's never going to be not a contender at top, 10, 15 in the world. Right. So, for Jordan to be in control like he was just speaks volumes for Jordan.
We had a question about what kind of shape was he in. I think he told me he was 170 kilos.
Good Lord, what is that in pounds?
375 pounds. And he was like flicking the arms and shoulders. Like he looked. I shook hands with him, and he pulled my arm a little bit on the right, just standing there. Man, he felt like a tank, which speaks a lot more to Sonev, I guess, because, man.
Yeah, well, like I said, overall, aside from the controversy, then again, what show doesn't have controversy? At least one each pay-per-view, right?
Always. There's always one.
Overall, I thought it was a great show. Despite me being from Canada, despite having a big black block hiding, one of the matches and somebody not making the weight cut. And I'm sure that's something they'll figure out. They'll iron out for the next one. I think really my only take back would be, as an athlete, you want to make sure that they're taken care of. And what I mean by everything's on the up and up. So I'm sure Tom Holland will have this. Do we know what time that comes on?
I don't. While you guys are talking, I'll just quickly look at it here.
Because I can call up and go, hey, when y'all going live? Because I am on my weekend, so I ain't got a goddamn. Matter of fact, when I get off here, I'm going on Matt Conley's show. So
look at you.
So sorry, babe. My honeydew. Okay, Lucky, you killing me. I don't know what that is. GMT time. Come on, man. Y'all killing me.
What
I'm on the West Coast. Man.
What is GMT?
It's like Great Britain Mountain Time or something like that.
So it's 6 p.m. there. So 6:05 p.m. It's 6 hours ahead of us. No, so it's 8 hours ahead of you. There you go.
Okay.
So what time did she say? I didn't see it.
She said 9 GMT.
Okay. Here it is, kids. Live in 2 hours.
Oh shit. Well, I gotta go on another show and promote the upcoming promotion. So
I want you to see this. So here it is. Tom Holland.
Did Ryan Bowen make weight?
Oh, he gonna let all the secrets out. Get him, Tom. Get him. Get him.
There we go. That's what you got to look forward to. So get on over there and check out that one. That's going to be interesting.
Yes. Lucky, thanks for letting us know. There you go.
What else do you want to talk about, Joe? Do you want to talk about? Well, there's a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me right off the bat, what's next for me? What's next for me is the Arnolds. And I have it on pretty good authority that Myrtala will be there.
Yeah, what's your thoughts about that?
My God, look who decided to jump in at the last second.
Oh, this guy. What's up, Holmes?
What I missed?
The corner man.
Everything.
What you missed. The fact that we're still on right now live is hey,
Tim just got out of bed.
No, I just got home.
What, for training?
No, that's later. I was working.
Yeah, we got some after dark to catch up on. Yeah, we do. But yes, I think at some point you and Myrtala we're going to have a collision course. So
yeah, so that's the guy. He's and amongst others, of course, but we'll see.
Hey, keyword free agent. Ah, yes.
Ooh.
Talk about that, Jody.
Bonus coverage, y'all. So here's the deal. As some of you guys may know, I was a part of the thing called The House with Greg Sharp, sponsored by WSA. That was going to be a cross between Ultimate Fighter and Game of Arms type deal. Now, I know how some of you guys feel about contracts, right? And, some of you guys may know I have a huge match for me coming up in March at Winter Blast through Arm Gods, where I get to pull James Beach, left hand. Now, here's the deal. I was told that not to compete before filming. I'm like, okay, fine. Had this talk with Greg Sharp. I even said, hey, I pulled at Tim's event last month and nothing was said, but because my match will be 2 weeks prior to us filming, he doesn't want me to pull. I get why. I get hurt. I ruin footage, that kind of thing. Hey, if you get hurt, then it's no good. However, if I got hurt on his terms, that's different. So if I got hurt training for the house, it could be a storyline. If I got hurt, while we're filming, it could be a storyline. Hell, what I do for a living, if I can get hurt, because I got to take some, youth down and put them in cuffs, and I get hurt doing that, that can be a storyline. However, anything outside of that, not okay. And I'm scratching my head going, what the hell are we doing, man? When can I compete? And after June 28th, which will be the finale of that, the house, and the first qualifier of the season 4 of the World Series of Arm Wrestling League. Let's do the math. January and then after June 28th means I got to sit on the shelf for almost 6 months, a little bit over 6 months, and there's no contract involved. I'm not getting paid for this. I don't see myself doing that. Meanwhile, I'm missing other events, other opportunities come and go because I'm committed to that with no contract. Now then, like I said, this might be a double soapbox because I may or may not be able to talk about this, but I don't give a fuck because you don't control me, right? So I don't feel it's fair to sit there and then watch everybody with these opportunities and have a slight bit of jealousy, right? We're all trying to build our brand. Whether we know it or not, whether we like it or not, we're trying to build our brand. And I'm building my brand left and right. But don't make it seem like the World Series of Arm Wrestling is the reason why my brand is building. Because, as you know, anybody who competed underneath that umbrella, I've had good matches, but it's all hearsay, right? No one's going to see them. Why? Because you cannot have a phone and video your matches. There it is. Why do you think I got that James Beach match? Tim, won't you tell them how do you think that James Beach match came about? Do you have a guess?
Washington State when he beat James Wall.
There you go. So everybody saw that. If I have an awesome match, which I've had awesome matches at the World Series of Arm Wrestling, it's not going to see the light of day. Okay? And by the way, let's just say, and this is where my son made an awesome point. Don't mean to put him out there, but he's at work, but I love him to death. My son said, Dad, let's just say this house thing does take off. Okay. If it does take off, he's making money off of you. He ain't got to pay you because there's no contract. So after having that talk, I said, look, you're putting me in the hard spot. If I do this Arm Wars match or Arm Gods match, and I even told him I'll do the match, not pull the tournament at Winter Blast. Wasn't good enough. I said, so you're telling me that if I fall through with this Arm Gods match, I can't be a part of the house? He goes, at this point, yes. Okay. You just made my decision a lot more clear. So with that being said, no contract in hand, and I'm not getting paid for this either.
Now you can pull the tournament.
Hey, and I'm not wishing bad things upon it. I'm not. But I don't feel that you're not going to put your thumb on me for half the calendar year with no contract in place. No, I'm sorry. That's not what it is. So there you go.
That was a good soapbox.
That was 2.0.
2.0.
I need to go rinse myself off. That was some bullshit right there. Yeah, so that, and I want to have all that taken care of before Knuckles Up even started. So you can imagine Friday night I was going through this. Saturday morning I was in talks with him so we can iron this thing out so we can go forward so I can focus on Knuckles Up event. So there you go.
There you go. Tim, you got any thoughts on the event before we close off the show here?
I mean, great event. It ran smooth. It ran fast, maybe a little too fast at times. You know, could have slowed down a little bit and chatted a little bit more and a little bit more organized on the back end. But other than that, they did a phenomenal job. I mean, production was good. Got hacked by who knows who because you don't know who hacks who.
I don't really know.
So, I mean, who knows? But it happens, you know, but you work through it. And I seemed like some of the athletes were happy with the way the show ran, and we had a good time.
Yeah. If nothing else, the athletes walked away, well, most of them, happy.
Yeah. 50% of them.
50%. 50% based on if they won the match or not.
No, I'm going 60% didn't walk away happy.
But the ones that were unhappy about something also were unhappy because they lost. So it might be 50%. So it's still 50%.
Okay. I'll agree with that.
You can't compound their disappointment in things.
All right.
Like weigh-ins.
I was trying.
Well, I guess there's a show tonight.
Oh, we already got it advertised on this one, Tim. The High Five one is in 2 hours.
Okay.
Is that the one you're talking about?
I'm talking about Tom Holland's going live.
Yes.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, we've been on a chat since 3 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, so I can't wait because
us.
there was a piece of information we would not talk about on this show that everyone needs to see. So tune in for that.
Well, yeah, I might be on the show. I don't know. We'll see.
Awesome.
Can't after dark.
After dark time, Tim, stay with us. Stay with us.
All right. We're heading out, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again next week.